Tonight, Madison Bumgarner gets the ball for the Giants. The lefty from North Carolina looks right at home in San Francisco. He completely dominates here in the City by the Bay with 12 wins in his last 15 starts at AT&T Park. Tonight, Bumgarner looks to get the Giants back in their winning ways. Giants Astros, and it's all coming up next. The homestand continues. It's a Tuesday night, and the Giants welcome in the Houston Astros for Game 1 of this 3-game series. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is John Miller. Mike Krukow will join us on Friday in Seattle. And, John, the one thing Bruce Bochy has always said is he's kind of jealous of these managers that have a set lineup. More and more, he's starting to get guys back, and he's looking at a lineup that's pretty stable.
And it looked like it would really be the A lineup tonight, but it was already predetermined that Angel Pagan would get 2 days in a row off. He's had a little abdominal problem, a little muscle strain in his abdomen, and so he came in tonight and said he was fine to go, but he already had made the lineup. Everybody had already seen that they were in the lineup. Nate Scherholtz will play right field. Pagan does get that extra day off, and perhaps that's for the best. We'll see. The Giants up against his Houston club that gave them a lot of trouble last year. The Astros in a rebuilding mode, and Madison Bumgarner, he struggled against them a little bit last year. The one thing this year, the Astros hitting only .219 as a team against lefties.
Yeah, and they've really struggled on the road this year. All right, when we come back, Amy G is going to take a look at some history. Back in 1986, there was a doubleheader against these Astros and the Giants. Well, they had some fun. Amy G is going to look at that right after this.
Is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Toyota, check out the great deals at your local Toyota dealer today. And by Big O Tires, tires, service, straight talk. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
After a rare day off at home, your San Francisco Giants are rested and raring to go in Game 1 of this 3-game series against the Houston Astros. Welcome back to AT&T Park. I'm Amy Gutierrez. And Houston making their first of 2 trips to the Bay Area this season, but it will be their last year in the National League. And there have been some very good battles between these two ball clubs. Tonight, we're going to talk about 1986, when the Giants put a 4-game sweep over the Astros into the books. It is our AT&T U-verse reverse replay this evening. On the mound for Game 1 of the Sunday swept doubleheader, our own Mike Krukow, Phil Stone, and Hank Greenwald with the call.
Popped up, Chris Brown telling the rebate he's got it. And the Giants are in first place as Krukow goes 9. Let's listen to this. Swing to the plate, and Craig swings, lines it to first, caught by Aldrete. The ball game is over.
That 4-game sweep put the San Francisco Giants into first place in the NL West. They had a 1.5-game lead over Houston after that day. Good times. Let's get to 2012, though. This evening, Madison Bumgarner on the hill for the Giants. Shortly, Dwayne Kuiper, John Miller will be back with first pitch and lineups. But first, we're going to head out to Willie Mays Plaza. It's Say Hey Tuesday. The fellas will be standing by with an update right after these messages. Stay with us.
For baseball, Astros and Giants, our game time weather is brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk is now open daily. 61 degrees here at the yard. We had winds at 11 miles per hour. Humidity is at 73%. It is sunny, and it is a breezy night here at the ballpark. Madison Bumgarner is going to lead his team out of the dugout. And the lineup that Bumgarner will be facing, it's a pesky group led by this pesky guy, Jose Altuve. Look what he's done against lefties. And he's just a tough out. Followed by Bixler, Lowry, and then J.D. Martinez. Martinez will be the cleanup hitter. Maxwell, Chris Johnson, Matt Downs will hit 7th. The local kid, Jason Castro, will hit 8th. And Bud Norris will pitch and bat 9th. And for Bumgarner, he'll be making his 13th start. You see his fine record of 7-4, a 3.26 ERA. Last year, he made 2 starts against the Astros. He got lit up on the road, and he pitched very well against the Astros here at AT&T Park. You see the walks to strikeouts, very good, and lefties not hitting very much against Bumgarner at all. Defensively behind Bumgarner, Angel Pagan with a night off. It'll be Cabrera, Blanco, and Sherholtz in the outfield from left to right. Sandoval, Crawford, Terrio, and Belt from third to first. And the battery of Posey and Bumgarner. Astros come in 5th place in the Central, 26-34. The Giants come in 2nd place, 4.5 behind the Dodgers. The Dodgers will be hosting the Los Angeles Angels tonight, and that game now just underway. So the Giants 34-27, 4.5 back of LA. Giants are 1-2 on this homestand, and they're looking to play well against this pesky Astros bunch. All right, we got baseball. Joining me tonight in place of Mike Krukow is my friend, and here to tell you about the first 2 innings is John Miller.
And there was also something that we talked about a little bit in the open of the telecast about Angel Pagan coming in this afternoon and telling Bruce Bochy, he says, I'm fine to play today. The original agreement between the two is that he would have a couple of days off with the scheduled day off yesterday. And Bruce Bochy said, well, the lineup's out now. Everybody's seen it. But I was just thinking maybe a viewer is sitting there saying, well, so what? Why couldn't that be changed? What difference does it make if everybody's seen the lineup?
Yep.
And there's ball 1 to Jose Altuve from Madison Bumgarner. Only 5 feet 5 inches tall. You can see that hitter's backdrop. The visibility is not good for a hitter, not yet anyway. There's a called strike, and it's 1-1. So you played all those years. Why would Bruce Bochy say, well, the lineup's already out, so I can't ask somebody to leave now?
Well, what you do is you tell Nate Sherholtz the night before that you're going to play, or you text him, or one of the coaches will call him. So Sherholtz is thinking about it all day. And I don't think you really want to mess with a guy that's been looking forward to a start.
And that is strike 3, a cutter down and in. So Altuve is quickly retired by Madison Bumgarner.
Well, this is a tough out right now, and with the hitting background that John mentioned, and also the effectiveness of that cutter, Altuve goes down swinging.
So a very tough out has been dispatched, and now here is Brian Bixler. Altuve, by the way, came into the game hitting with a batting average that was 6th best in the National League. Bixler takes ball 1. Bixler is hitting 188. He's only had 16 at bats so far in the big leagues this year. And it is a ball on the strike. Madison Bumgarner, you mentioned it, Kite, that the first time he faced the Astros in August of last year, he got roughed up. The Astros hit a couple of homers. Altuve was one of them. And he gave up 7 runs in 6 2/3 innings, 11 hits, one of his worst starts of the year. That's in there for a strike. But then he had a chance to face him 6 days later here. Entirely different story.
Yeah, well, in that ballpark, you better have your good stuff. It's a park very conducive to offense, and Bumgarner found out the hard way.
1-2 the count. And that cuts off the inside for a ball. 2-2 to Bixler. Jed Lowry, who's having an outstanding first season with the Astros, on deck. Bixler's been around a while. He's 29 years old. Not that much big league experience, though. And a foul on the third base side. Pablo fields it, tosses it over the dugout. The Golden Gate, and we don't see a thick fog rolling in through the Golden Gate. Not just yet, anyway. What a sight.
What a beautiful shot.
Two and two the count. And he struck him out with a curveball. He tried to check, couldn't do it. Posey tags him out. And Bumgarner starts the game with consecutive strikeouts.
Well, We mentioned Bumgarner likes to tease right-handed hitters with a lot of pitches in on his hands. And our Exmo is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. And these Astros right-handed hitters are going to see this a lot. So the first time around, this Astros lineup advantage Bumgarner.
2 down, and here is Jed Lowry, the former Stanford star. Called a strike at the knees with a fastball.
He's got a pretty good umpire too, John, in Brian Runge. Brian Runge will call strikes. Barrett, Muflinski, Hudson.
Ball and a strike now. Changeup missing. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jed Lowry, who is hitting .289. He's a switch hitter. He's got 12 home runs, 28 batted in. His ops is just about at 900. That will be out of play, off to the right. Well back into the lower deck. A ball and 2 strikes. Lowry had been with the Red Sox, and immediately in Boston they were excited about him. He had power, looked like he could play shortstop well, but then he started getting hurt, and he just could not stay in the lineup and stay healthy. And the cutter puts him away. Madison Bumgarner strikes out the side. Now the Giants coming up.
This is their lineup, and it goes like this. It'll be Blanco in the leadoff spot, followed by Terrio. Welcome back, Melky Cabrera, and then Buster Posey. The Panda, his numbers against the Astros, very good. Scherholtz will hit in the 6th slot. Then it's Belt, Crawford, and Bumgarner. Bud Norris, the kid from Cal Poly, Mike asked me to say that, a 5-3 record with a .465 ERA. You can see what he's done in his 12 starts. 25 walks, 76 strikeouts. He pitched a game against the Giants last year. He got a no decision, but he struck out 10, and he only walked 1, and he allowed 3 hits in 7 innings. So Bud Norris can be tough. Behind Bud Norris in the outfield, it'll be Martinez, Maxwell, and Bixler from left to right. From first to third, Downs, Altuve, Lowry, and Chris Johnson. And doing the catching is the youngster Jason Castro. So there's Bud Norris making his first start, obviously, against the Giants.
Now, Mike Krukow is always saying how high quality the baseball is at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just to give you an idea how tough it is, here's Bud Norris, who's in the big leagues, and he's done well in the big leagues. As Blanco takes ball 1, a fastball at 91 miles an hour. At Cal Poly, he was 8-6 with a 4.55 ERA.
Yep.
And he got drafted by the Astros with that. That's a tough league, apparently, Cal Poly plays.
Mike's numbers were way better than that.
So have Norris's numbers been way better since he got to the big leagues.
Since he left.
And it's back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Blanco, hitting .283 with a .379 on base percentage. And there's Angel Pagan not in the lineup. Pagan had been playing every day and playing extremely well, needless to say. But he's also been battling some kind of an abdominal strain. And as Bochy said, it has not been a big deal. He's been able to play through it. Otherwise, they would have already had him sit down to get over it. But the original plan was that he was going to have Sunday and Monday off. But then when Cabrera was not able to play Sunday, then they thought, well, better maybe let's make it Monday, Tuesday. He just got a piece of that low slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And what this has also done, John, is it's given Scherholtz now his 4th start in a row. And that's how you start to get your swing back. And you start to play a little bit more.
The Giants will be embarking upon an interleague road trip after this series, where they'll need a designated hitter in 9 straight games. That is going to go out of play off the third base side. 2-2 the count to Blanco, who's already seen 6 pitches from Bud Norris.
Well, I would think, John, that there's going to be a long line outside the manager's door in Seattle saying that I can DH.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Struck him out. Every batter who has appeared in this game has struck out so far.
Both teams on pace for a lot of strikeouts.
27 for each above the pace.
If you believe that on pace stuff, this is going to be a weird game.
Now Ryan Theriot, who's hitting .375 in the month of June, .263 overall, facing Norris here. One out, nobody on. Theriot has seen Norris more than any other Giants hitter currently on the roster. Theriot, a former Cub and Cardinal, playing in the Central Division where the Astros have been playing. He's 4 for 14 lifetime against Norris. And a foul out of play off to the right, and it's 0-2. And again, that visibility is just as bad for the Giants hitters as it was for the Astros hitters, where the low-lying sun is reflecting off that hitter's backdrop in center field right into the eyes of the hitters, who are in effect in the dark. There's an idea of what they're up against. And that slider low for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, you may have mentioned it, John, but in his last start he struck out 12.
That's pretty good.
So he's been getting strikeouts.
Strike 3 called, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
So Norris has accepted the Bumgarner challenge. Take a look at this location. Couldn't be better. Right there on the outside corner. And that's a perfect pitch. And if you're Theriot, you don't want to tip your cap too many times to the guy on the mound, but you can do it right there.
Norris faced the Cardinals in his last start. Melky Cabrera back in the lineup. Had a little hamstring problem. And that will go out of play. Giants have not done anything except hit a foul ball. Otherwise, they have not made contact with Norris, and that's the way it went for the Astros, too. Norris for the year, 69 2/3 innings pitched before tonight, 76 strikeouts, more than 1 per inning. And he's off the outside, turned that one over a little bit. 2-1 the count. Norris has never beaten the Giants, but he has pitched well against them. Gave up 1 run on 4 hits in 6 innings here when he faced Bumgarner last August the 26th. And took the loss. 1 earned run he allowed. Pablo Sandoval in the hole with Posey on deck. That got into the seats in a hurry. Melky just kind of tried to wave at it to fight it off, and he did. 2-2.
That's one where you have to pay attention if you're sitting in those seats, close to the dugout, behind the dugout.
Three and 2.
That was close. That was close to a really weird first inning.
Just a bit high. Everybody who's batted is struck out. 2 down, nobody out for the Giants. And a 3-2 count to Melky Cabrera. Puts the ball in play. And Norris takes it. So he's either striking him out or he's putting him out, one way or the other.
Golfer Rory McIlroy. Like that name. Did I do okay?
You did.
All right, you're not in your environment. You're in baseball, and you throw out the first pitch. How do you assess your throw?
I thought it was pretty good. For my first time, I thought I did an okay job.
Now, I heard that you were practicing with a golf ball and then a medicine ball and thought baseball would be somewhere in between.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I mean, I actually threw a few golf balls on the course today just to try and get a gauge of what I was going to do. So yeah, but it was okay. I mean, I kept it in the air, which is the most important thing. I didn't want to bounce it to him. So.
All right, now you are the defending U.S. Open champ. No pressure, right? Tell us a little bit about how well you are doing on the course at the Olympic Club right now.
Yeah, I'm excited about the week. You know, to come back and defend any title is obviously, you know, very special. But to be defending the U.S. Open is incredible, and you know, I'm just really enjoying the week so far. You know, it's great to be able to come and do things like this. You know, before the serious stuff starts on Thursday. So, you know, enjoying my time so far, and you know, my game's feeling pretty good.
All right. Well, there's one thing you forgot, Dwayne, John. Rory didn't bring a jacket to AT&T Park.
Bummer.
Luck of the Irish, you're going to be warm.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll know better for next time, put it that way. So.
Will you come back and visit us?
Yeah, for sure. The Giants are now my official team, so.
All right, there you go, Dwayne and John.
All right, Rory McIlroy, and good luck to him in the U.S. Open upcoming. I think McIlroy, though, in this issue about not having a jacket with him here for a night game, why should he be different than anybody else who comes in from out of town and comes to a game here for the first time?
Hey, we're in California. It's going to be hot.
Justin Maxwell, the hitter, with one out. And that is the fourth strikeout for Bumgarner. J.D. Martinez grounded out to lead off the inning. And now Maxwell has struck out.
That's what they'll be playing for. I will tell you, though, John, you know, you hear something that you've never heard before, and here was a guy warming up to throw out the first pitch and using a golf ball to warm up.
Well, he made a good pitch.
He did.
However he warmed up, it seemed to work for him.
Yeah, it's a great week. A lot of things going on, and the Olympic Cup is going to be jumping.
Chris Johnson, the hitter, 2 down, nobody on, and a base hit to right. I don't know if that was a hanging changeup or what it was, off-speed pitch, and he just punched it right through the hole for the first hit of the game.
Here's the pitch John's talking about. He didn't bounce it. He did just the opposite. And you know, we've seen some umpires call that a strike. So McIlroy, you did good.
Now, when I say it was a great pitch, we define that as he didn't throw it in the dirt.
Yeah, he didn't do like the Cincinnati mayor, throw it in the dugout.
We got Johnson at first. Here is the former Giant, Matt Downs. Johnson back to the bag. Belt on the bag with him. No score in the game in the second inning. Madison Bumgarner. You see the sun is starting to move up on that hitter's backdrop out there. Still reflecting off the scoreboard complex. That ball is fouled into the second deck just off to our right. One strike to Downs. Now Downs had an excellent year last year as a role player for the Astros. He could play a lot of different positions. And he was a tough out, especially against left-handed pitching. And he had a lot of big hits against the Giants in those 2 series they played in August of last year. But he's not doing anything with the bat so far this year. And that one on the inside for a called strike 2.
Well, what I remember in that series and is the fact that every at bat that he took against the Giants was a good at bat. And he made the Giants pitchers work. And you're right. I remember one hit was in extra innings to give the Astros the lead.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, with the name of Murphy in the Giants clubhouse, you knew he'd take care of McIlroy.
Mr. Murphy has brought Rory a jacket. Much better.
Murph also has a beeper on that in case he tries to walk out of the park with it.
1-2 the count to Johnson. There goes Johnson. Downs takes a ball, and it's a steal without a throw for Johnson. Wow.
Well, Bumgarner didn't use a slide step. He didn't do much of anything to give Buster Posey a shot at this. Watch. He just kind of takes his time. And And you or I could have stole that. Maybe.
Yeah, if you say so. That's off the outside. It's a full count now. 3-2. I think we would have had our best shot anyway.
Well, the other thing too, John, is now you do have first base open. You don't have to throw a strike to Matt Downs because you've got a left-handed hitter on deck.
The only left-handed hitter in the Astros lineup is the man on deck, Jason Castro. There's Pablo. The inning is over. Rory McIlroy got his jacket. Pitch. Already he looks great this year.
Is brought to you by Cache Creek's Summer of Luck. $500 cash every hour from 2 p.m. till midnight. Visit CacheCreek.com for details.
No score in the game as we go to the last of the second inning. I'm John Miller with Dwayne Kuiper, Dave Fleming. Over on radio side right now. We'll be along later. Mike Krukow with the day off.
He's on assignment.
On assignment. Buster Posey, who has not been hitting much lately. Base hit right here. And he is the first Giant to reach base against Bud Norris.
Well, the great thing about Buster Posey is his ability to go the other way. And it's a classic swing. We're going to see it for a very long time in this city, and we will never get tired of it. You can see he gets to see the ball a little longer when you go the other way. Perfect.
Now Pablo Sandoval hitting fifth in the Giants lineup, with Melky Cabrera back in there. Pablo hitting .304. Ball one from Norris. No score in the game. The Giants with their first base runner of the night. And the first baseman, Matt Downs, holding on the bag against Posey. The middle infielders are both shaded toward the middle, pulled in a bit, double play dap. That's a foul. And the Giants have had so many late swings, so many fouls to the off field. The left hand is all hitting fouls over third base. The right hand is over first base. And back into the crowd. Some of that may be the visibility.
Absolutely.
Souvenir. One ball, one strike to Pablo. Nate Scherholtz on deck. He blew a fastball by him.
You know, John, I'm looking at some of the box scores from Arizona on the opening 3 games, and it was Sandoval hitting third, Posey hitting fourth. So now we're seeing for the first time that's reversed, where Sandoval is hitting behind Buster Posey.
At the very beginning, it was Pagan and Cabrera 1 and 2 in the lineup. Pablo down on strikes, 95 miles an hour. Got a little extra on that one. The Giants and Dodgers and the rivalry heads to San Francisco near the end of this month, less than 2 weeks from now, June 25th through the 27th, Monday and Tuesday at 7:15, and the Wednesday, June 27th game at 12:45. And there's still good seats available at sfgiants.com, but it's always advisable to act now. Those tickets tend to go quickly. Nate Scherholtz, and it's ball one. Giants will be going to Southern California next week, but not to LA, not to face the Dodgers, but rather to face the Angels down in Anaheim. If you made your travel plans just based on the name of the team, you'd make a big mistake. You'd go to LA, but they're not in LA. They're called the LA Angels, but of Anaheim. That's where they actually play. And that's in for a called strike to Nate. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Angels are playing in LA right now against the Dodgers. There it is on the hand operated scoreboard. No score, top of the 3rd inning at Dodger Stadium. Aaron Harang against the former Giant Jerome Williams down there. The Angels beat him last night. And that hit him. Slider on the inside, and it got Nate. A lot of times Nate likes to swing at that pitch, so you wonder how come he didn't get out of the way.
Yeah, it's happened a couple of different times, but this one got him on the elbow. I thought at first it got him on the leg, but that clipped the left elbow. Hey, get a guy in scoring position.
So Posey moves over to second, scoring position, and now Brandon Belt. .224 average, .340 on base percentage, hitting only .150 here more recently. Only 3 hits in his last 20 at bats. Chance to jump ahead here for the Giants. Along the left field line, Martinez gets there. The runners will have to go back. Just a high, lazy fly ball along the left field line. That might have been a double, even a home run in Houston.
Oh my goodness.
The Crawford boxes.
That is the perfect ball to hit in Houston.
The wall there is about what, 18 feet high.
Yep, very short.
And it's about 220 feet from home plate. They say it's further, but not that much further, I don't think. So 2 down. Here is Brandon Crawford. 2 men on, 2 men out, no score in the second. And it's 0-1. Fastball on the outside.
Well, here's a spot if you're Crawford. You got a guy in scoring position. There is a base that's available. It's at third. And if you get a decent pitch to hit, you got to try to knock that run in rather than look for a great pitch to hit, walk, and then you leave it up to the pitcher.
A ball and a strike.
That's why 8th is a tough spot. Sometimes you get pitches, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you have to swing at pitches that might be a little out of the strike zone.
But the idea is here, if you get a walk, then you probably let your scoring chance just go by.
Yep.
You can't leave it up to the pitcher.
Manny Sanguillen, the perfect 8th place hitter, because he hit everything. Vladimir Guerrero, though obviously he was a cleanup hitter, but he would be the perfect 8th place hitter.
Well, Manny Sanguillen, they had so many hitters on that Pirates club at their best. It was almost like Pablo Sandoval hitting 8th.
That's right.
And it's 2-2 now. Took something off that pitch, did Bud Norris. The Giants got a leadoff single by Posey. And with 1 out, Sherholtz was hit by a pitch. Now 2 down. And Crawford trying to knock somebody in here. Crawford, who is hitting only .219 for the season, but he's hitting .173 with runners in scoring position. Posey and Sherholtz get their leads from second and first. And he slaps that one foul off to the left. Very protectively. Off the facing of the second deck. 2-2. Tomorrow night, game 2 of the series at 7:15 with Matt Cain up against Jay Happ. And then the Thursday afternoon game, Barry Zito and Wandy Rodriguez, couple of lefties. 12:45. After which the Giants will travel, and they will travel for a while. Struck him out with that slider in the dirt. 2 men left. Bumgarner back to the hill. No score.
Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Eric's Deli Cafe. Only when the salty and sweet are perfectly balanced is harmony achieved. Sandwiches and more with character.
On a beautiful night in the city by the bay at 24 Willie Mays Plaza on the shores of McCovey Cove. The Giants nothing, the Astros nothing. We head to the third. Madison Bumgarner back to work, and here's Dwayne Kuiper.
All right, this is a little tapper, and Bumgarner's going to throw him out. How about that? I'm exhausted from doing play-by-play.
Thank you, Kuiper.
Wow.
Well done. That was Jason Castro, by the way, who is a Bay Area native, born in born in Castro Valley, went to Castro Valley High School, then went to Stanford and into the big leagues with the Astros. It seemed to me that he hit his first major league home run against the Giants a couple of years ago.
I believe he did, and we heard a roar, and it came from his mom and dad, who were, I believe, at the park in Houston. Here's Bud Norris, who takes a strike. Mike ran into his parents. We were staying at the Westin, which was attached to that big mall. He ran into his folks walking around that mall a couple of years ago. This is hit high to left field to Melky Cabrera. And Cabrera will put it away. All right, let's check in with Amy G.
Hey, Dwayne, you're looking at the Giants' future. This is the Giants' first-round draft pick, Chris Stratton, right-handed pitcher, and you were signed today, young man. Congratulations. How excited are you?
I'm very excited. It's just an honor to be selected by such a prestigious organization and such a great pitching staff. Hopefully one day I can be as good as they are.
You know, this is a pitcher's park, so this must look like a little dreamland to you.
Definitely a dreamland. It's my first time here, but just it's an awesome atmosphere. Just excited to be here.
We were talking before we got on, and you said you got a lot of work to do. Where do you go next?
I'll go to Phoenix for about 5 days, and then I'll fly home and see my brother's wedding, and then I'll go to Salem, Oregon for short season. So
a lot of big things happening for your family.
A lot of things happening quick, but it's just a blessing and an honor to be here.
Quickly got to mention girlfriend, dad, sister, mom. Got to give props where props are due, right?
Yeah.
Nice to have your family here with you.
Great to have them here. They've been supporting me ever since I was little, so just to have them here, it's awesome.
All right, Dwayne, he keeps calling me ma'am. I'm a little worried.
Well, maybe
Giants'
we should.
first-round draft pick.
All right, well, thanks, ma'am. Here's Crawford, and Crawford will throw wide, and it goes into the Astros dugout. I think it winged one of the Astros, and it'll be an error on Crawford. Boy, he's played such steady baseball, and that one came out of nowhere.
That just was a shot. And he had his problems really until the last couple of weeks. He's just been so steady out there, and he had plenty of time, and then just threw that one completely away.
Well, you know, it's interesting is big leaguers just expect normal things out of big leaguers, and no one in that Astros dugout thought that they were going to get winged by a throw from Crawford. Altuve goes. Posey's throw is late. So Altuve with his 11th steal of the year.
And that's twice now that they have had a base runner, and each time they have stolen a base on Bumgarner with that big leg kick and the very slow delivery, and not really paying much attention to that runner.
You know, he's already in scoring position, but this puts a little bit more pressure on Buster Posey. It puts more pressure on your infield defense.
And you make a good point, though. It is a little more understandable in that spot. Because the gain versus the risk is not that high for the runner.
Right. So it's 1-0. And this is going to be a flare, and it's going to fall. So it's 1-0 Houston on the Bixler single. So the error does hurt Madison Bumgarner, and it's 1-0 Houston.
Wow, the Giants, who have made so many errors this year, but that one just kind of came out of nowhere from Brandon Crawford, and now it has been turned into a run by the Astros.
So here's Lowry. Well, we'll see if the trend continues with Bixler. Will he go? And Bumgarner's going to check.
Yeah, he would have scored on that hit even if he'd still been at second. Yeah.
Yep.
Bixler, just recalled from Oklahoma City a few days ago, and that's his first big league RBI this year.
So Bumgarner out of the stretch, throws high and wide. 1 ball and no strikes. There's the youngster, Chris Stratton.
Out of Mississippi State. The only other Giants first round draft choice out of Mississippi State did pretty well here. One Will Clark.
A bit high to Bixler, and what you get concerned about now with Bumgarner is that he's so concerned about keeping that base runner tight that he loses a little bit of focus to come into the plate.
Texas over Arizona 9-1 on the out-of-town scoreboard. The Angels have jumped ahead of the Dodgers in the last of the third inning now.
Bixler's picked off. They're going to have to go, and he made it. Bumgarner made a bit of a low throw to Belt, and Belt's throw was late. I don't think that that's on Belt. I think this is on Bumgarner.
Well, he took a long time even getting the ball over to first base, and you can see it right there. And Belt's throw, Belt really didn't have a shot.
He did not. So that's the third steal already in this game. And there's a strike to Lowry, who struck out in the first inning. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. This is what John's talking about, how easy Bumgarner throws over there, and if you got any speed at all, you're going to beat that throw.
And Bixler had plenty enough to do it.
Out of play, it's 2-2.
So it's a sloppy inning for the Giants here.
Yeah. Well, the ground ball to Crawford, that's like that. I did not see that one coming.
It looked like a routine play. And I don't know that we've seen him make errors on plays that routine this year. Giants tied for the most errors of any club in the majors.
And he got him. 5 strikeouts for Bumgarner. An unearned run here in the third inning. Giants are coming up 1-0 Houston.
Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit HEFINS.com.
1-0 Houston. Well, Hangar 1, made here in San Francisco, California, is providing aerial coverage from their very own blimp. The perfect town in this great country to have a blimp. The perfect town. City, town, same thing?
Town, I think town works.
Okay. There's a strike to Bumgarner.
As in, that is my kind of town.
Look at that town.
I love this town.
What a great town. Bumgarner takes wide. He's 3 for 29 on the season. I guess maybe the thing that doesn't always make it so perfect is it can be a windy town. And blimps and wind, they don't really get along too much. Bumgarner hits one high, hits it deep. It is out of here. His first. He's been doing it in batting practice for the last couple of years, but here he takes the Grand Tour, and look at the smile. And they're giving him the cold shoulder. He's going into an empty dugout. Look at him. He's just playing along. Playing along. And then they go get him. Oh, my goodness. So they don't hit one in 109 games here, and he's the guy to do it, right? Here's Blanco, who takes a strike.
Well, it was his 130th Major League at bat when he hits his first home run. The Giants had had considerably more at bats than that. They had gone 16 straight games as a team without a home run.
Blanco rolls this one to Downs, and Downs will apply the tag. Well, was it a good pitch to hit, John?
It looked like it was right down the middle at the belt, and he knew just what to do with it. So he has tremendous power. He took batting practice here on Sunday, and the fans were in the stands already, and he put on a show, and they were oohing and on. They gave him a standing ovation when he finished. And after they gave the cold shoulder, then they jumped all over him in the dugout.
Here's Terrio. It's a little pop-up. Downs in foul territory. 2 outs.
In batting practice today, he hit a few. I mean, we've seen him hit a lot against this guy. He owns this guy.
Yeah, he can hit Billy Hayes.
But Bud Norris.
See, he peeked in the dugout, and that's what he saw. He couldn't help himself. Here's Cabrera. Lucky Cabrera bounced out in the first inning.
Well, I'm glad he hit it here because he wouldn't have had a chance to hit it in his next, I think his next 2 starts.
That's right.
Will both be in American League parks.
And he may end up being in the lineup in the next game that he plays.
Keeps that up. Just leave him in there.
The manager likes home runs.
7th home run for the Giants in their home ballpark. And this is the 33rd game.
Unbelievable. 1-1 pitch to Melky Cabrera is right there at the knees. 1-2. There's what John's talking about the last 17 games.
And Gregor Blanco was the last guy to do it. And that's how to play. The last time a major league team, any major league team, went 16 straight games with no homers, it was the Houston Astros 22 years ago when they still played at the Astrodome, which that was a real tough place to hit home runs.
Very tough. The 1-2 to Cabrera is outside. 2-2.
.514 official at bats between home runs.
Unbelievable
for the Giants.
2-2 pitch. Cabrera fights off another pitch.
We were talking about this the other night, I think off the air. In that 16-game homerless stretch, there were several guys who hit balls that would have been home runs almost anywhere else.
Yeah, especially Buster Posey.
And he had a couple out in that big gap in right center.
5 strikeouts for Bud Norris. Dave Fleming will be in. John Miller will be back in the 7th. Madison Bumgarner gets the Giants on the board. His first big league home run. It's bye-bye baby, and it's 1-1. We got a 1-1 ball game as Bumgarner throws to J.D. Martinez in work for Crawford, and Crawford's going to throw a strike, and Martinez is retired. Never fails. The ball will find you. Dave Fleming in from the KMBR side. Welcome in, Dave.
Still kind of buzzing after the Bumgarner home run.
It was, to try to suppress a smile when he rounded third after he looked into the dugout, it was literally impossible for him to do that.
Even for a tough guy.
Yeah. My goodness. Well, he's been pounding those bleachers in batting practice. And we kept telling him he was going to be against a soft lefty, and it turns out it's against a hard throwing right-hander. So here's Maxwell. And Maxwell takes down low. 1 ball and no strikes. Maxwell struck out. Bumgarner's got 4, and like a lot of his starts, he hasn't walked anybody. At the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, go figure, that would be the one that would break the Giants team homer drought.
Yeah. Look. That's how I had it figured. Gregor Blanco, and then 150 games later, Madison Bumgarner. Oh, then they especially like Amy, now known tonight is Ma'am, is what Mr. McElroy called her. Ma'am. It was a pitch high.
Well, Amy talked to Chris Stratton too.
Well, that was Stratton. It wasn't McElroy. It was Stratton.
And Chris came over to join me in the radio booth, and everything was yes sir, yes sir, yes sir.
I have no problems with that. Somehow my kids never got that memo. There's a swing and a miss by Maxwell. All right, let's check out our AT&T trivia question. Angel McCann hit safely in 47 of 50 games this season. Prior to him, which Giant had the best 50-game stretch in a season? By the way, your girls, I'm sure they're working on Sir and Ma'am.
Oh, they call me that.
Chris Johnson singled in the second inning. And the first pitch is down low. I think it sounds great. I do. My kids didn't though. 1-0 pitch. Bat goes flying. Blanco coming in, still coming in, and he's going to track it down. And Bumgarner with a quick inning. Buster Posey will lead things off.
Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates LP.
Friday, June 29th, the first annual Giants Garlic Fest in community partnership with the Gilroy Garlic Festival. Special event package will include ticket to that game against the Reds, access to the Garlic Fest special edition bobblehead of the famed Gilroy Garlic Festival mascot, Herbie. There's Herbie. Tickets available at sfgiants.com/special events. You can also call 415-972-2298.
And Buster Posey takes a strike at the knees. Posey, Sandoval, Sherholtz. A 1-1 ball game thanks to Madison Bumgarner's first major league home run. Posey tries to hold up, and he does not. And it's 0-2. Ted Barrett became unpopular. I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
0-2. Posey watches that one go by. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oh, so, that's not bad.
Need to work on the exact terminology a little bit, I'd say.
Yeah, there's a couple of "it's" missing, right?
Yeah. It does change the call.
He gets high. No, he hits high. He hits deep. Not bad, though.
Needs a little work, but not bad.
You know what? He put a lot of time and effort into
Yeah.
that. 2-2 pitch. Posey takes high, 3-2. Another sellout crowd here tonight. There's the Panda watching from the Atlantic Circle. Payoff pitch. And a very close pitch goes Posey's way. Uh, 500 gnomes were given away today. It was Say Hey Tuesday from our Comcast folks. And just give our fans a reason to look different, and they will come out in droves.
They don't even need a reason most of the time.
It's like, yeah, we want you to all dress up like those gnomes. Not a problem. Here's Sandoval, who struck out in the second. Sandoval swung and missed at a couple of fastballs. And if you swing and miss, it's likely you're going to see a few more. And the first one from Norris was very high.
That third strike you're talking about, the fastball that struck him out, was really just a challenge pitch.
Right there. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'm sure you guys talked about it already, but it is. And Pablo's probably going to take a while to get the timing back. Be totally ready to go, but the middle of the order, just with Cabrera healthy, with Sandoval, with Posey, it looks the way Bruce Bochy wants it to look.
No Pagan tonight, but put him in the mix probably tomorrow. Two balls and 1 strike. always joke with Bruce Bochy about how he's got to be creative with who he plays and envies the likes of Charlie Manuel when he had those lineups that he put out every day. Well, he still doesn't have a set lineup, but it's getting a little closer. Here's the 2-1 offering to Sandoval, and Sandoval takes it on the outside corner, 2-2.
Well, Theriot is the everyday second baseman, and these days it's looking like that. If Brandon Belt can start to get something going at the plate, I mean, he really could have a situation where the Giants had a true everyday lineup.
Absolutely. Probably see a few more starts for Arias at shortstop. 2-2 pitch. And Sandoval got a piece. And that was not a fastball.
Norris, he's got that slider, and he and Bumgarner throw that slider about as much as any pitchers in the National League. Both excellent sliders. He's made some of these Giants hitters look bad on that pitch.
Yes, he has. He's got 5 strikeouts already. He had 12 in his last start. Two and two. He had a bump in the road in Colorado, and he wouldn't be the first guy to do that, where he allowed 9 runs, all earned, in an inning and 2/3 on May 31st. 2 and 2. Sandoval pokes at this one and hits it foul down the left field line.
And if you look at the numbers, I mean, it's really amazing. Cords are still using the humidor, and yet it's playing more and more like old Coors Field. The offensive numbers so far this year in Denver have been astounding.
Well, the A's are in Oakland right now, and the A's are leading 8-5 in the 8th inning, and that is a low-scoring game.
Yeah, that's been quiet for a few innings.
2 and 2. Sandoval pops this one up. It's going to be Johnson, the third baseman, and he'll put it away. Our trivia question was brought to you by AT&T. Angel Pagan hit safely in 47 of 50 games this season. Prior to him, which Giant had the best 50-game stretch in a season? JoJo Moore in 1935.
He had to go back a ways.
I did not have JoJo Moore on the tip of my tongue. I can tell you that.
Not in my top 3 choices.
So Sandoval pops out. And here's Nate Scherholtz, who is hit on the elbow by a pitch in the second. And he takes outside. When's Bumgarner hit again?
Yeah, that's the whole idea for the Giants. Build a rally, get as many bases on for the pitcher. The guy who's hit his first big league home run tonight.
1-0 to Scherholtz with Posey at first. And Scherholtz fouls it back. I went into this long deal with Crawford hitting in the second, how even if he needed to expand his strike zone so that he could try to knock that run in, as opposed to letting Bumgarner get up.
Yeah, don't leave it to the poor pitcher who can't swing the bat.
What an idiot I look like.
It's at 400 feet halfway up the bleachers.
A ball and a strike to Scherholtz. Low. The Dodgers have tied that game up in LA. It's LA 1 and LA 1.
You don't have to be specific when it's tied.
It's LA 1, LA 1. It is. Just for fun, I wish they'd take that extra A out and see what the fans here would do. 2-1 pitch. 3-1 to Scherholtz.
I think Bruce Bochy was happy to have Pagan take this day as his day. He wanted to give him a day off anyway, but Scherholtz had a chance to play all 3 games over the weekend. So I think Bochy was figuring that Nate may have had a chance to get into a rhythm, so perhaps he could have a more productive game as that extra outfielder.
And the walk. 2 walks here in the 4th. In that last start, where Norris struck out 12 against the Cardinals in 6 innings, he didn't walk anybody, and here he's walked 2.
And he's not, you think of some of these young power pitchers as guys who do strike out a lot but also walk a lot, and that is not part of his game. And that's what makes Bud Norris, I think, real exciting to the Astros. His biggest problem has been the home run ball. He's given up now 10 home runs on the year. Of course, when you pitch your home games in Minute Maid Park in Houston, you're going to give up some home runs.
Yes, you are.
Belt hit a few there, I believe, last year.
Yep. And he would have had one there on the ball that he hit his last time up, which was a fly ball to left field. Tracked down by Martinez. Fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, you're right about that. That would have been directly into those Crawford boxes.
Posey at second. Sherholtz at first. And Belt takes low and in. Castro doing a nice job. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, you and I were here early today, Kipe, and I mean, Brandon Belt is putting in so much extra time working with Joe LaFay and Bam Bam Mullins, and trying to make some small but significant adjustments. And you just figure it's so hard to do on the fly in the middle of a big league season.
With 42,000 people watching you every night. 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Crawford to follow. I doubt Belt has the green light, but we'll find out. He did not. It's 3-1, but if he gets that same pitch here, he's going to let it fly. This is the counts that the Giants want Belt to get in, and then this is the count where they want Belt to try to drive the ball. Doesn't necessarily have to pull it, but at least hit it into the gap in right center field. So we'll see if he's going to get a fastball, you would think, here at 3-1. And it's hit down the left field line and out of play. And that's what we're talking about.
A pretty good pitch from Norris, who didn't make a mistake out of the plate. And that's where I think you can get a hitter in a fastball count where he's looking for a fastball. If you throw a really good fastball, the hitter's likely going to swing at it. We'll see if he goes back to that pitch again.
Posey at second, Sherholtz at first. Out of play. See, they're going right at him. And the little girl ended up with it, which is not going to make the brother happy. Uh-oh, we got problems here.
Hey, wait a minute.
Okay, hey, I think he meant to give it to me. No, he did not. That would have hacked me off too, I got to tell you, if I was that age.
Took a few seconds to sink in, I think.
Yeah, she's not going to give it to me. 3-2. And the walk, and they're loaded. That's 3 walks. And if you're Brandon Crawford, this is what you ask for, an opportunity to make up for that error. Look at, he's staring at the ball, and she doesn't care. If I don't look at it, she and the ball will go away. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to look. Here's Crawford, who struck out.
Pretty good numbers in these spots for young Brandon Crawford.
On the ground, foul.
And his kind of luck this year. He has hit some balls hard that have been caught.
But that's what you have to do. You got a guy that has just walked 3 people. You have to think on the first pitch you're going to get something good to hit. Oh, and 1 to Crawford. Outside, 94 from Norris. 1 ball and 1 strike.
One of the benefits of an inning like this is that Norris is approaching 30 pitches just in this 4th inning alone. So the stuff could start to fall off a bit. See if he makes a mistake.
A 1-1 ball game here in the 4th. Crawford fouls it out of play, and now Norris can go for the strikeout.
And you have to believe, I mean, Crawford was badly fooled by a slider his first at bat, a ball in the dirt. And you have to believe that Norris has it in his mind to see if he can get him to swing at that pitch again.
And he's kind of saved it in this at bat. 1-2. On the ground, could be a pair. No, it's through into center field. Posey scores, Sherholz scores, and Crawford comes through with 2 runs batted in here in the 4th inning, and the Giants lead 3-1. And that's our Ford Wright choice. At first, it looked like it may have been a pair, and Altuve could not get to it.
And really interesting, after Crawford chased the slider, which is such a good pitch for Bud Norris, out of the zone his first time up, Norris ahead of the count challenged him with a fastball. And it was up, but it was out over the plate, and Crawford hit it hard.
Wow. So Crawford now with a couple of RBIs, so the walks in this inning really hurt. Belt went to 3rd on the play, and now Bumgarner is going to be asked to bunt. And I guarantee you he's sitting at the plate going, what? Carpenter's getting loose.
I mean, this inning has gone on so long now for Bud Norris. And Bumgarner now is going to get the verbal cue from Tim Flannery. Maybe Flannery's saying, do this again.
Or maybe Flannery's saying, the bunt sign's not on. And that one went about 10 rows back. And that's exactly what Flannery said to him, and it's 1-0.
Plus, I mean, you reluctant, I think the Giants would be to give up an out here, especially early in the count when you got a pitcher over. The Giants have a chance. This next pitch will be number 79 in the game for Norris, just in the 4th inning. They got a chance to get him out of the game right here.
Absolutely. 2-0, and all of a sudden Norris can't throw a strike. See the number of pitches Dave's talking about, 31 this inning. The next pitch to Bumgarner will be number 80 on the night. Popped them up. I never saw it, neither did the Astros, and Bumgarner's going to get another shot. And in the midst of all of that, Gregor Blanco was playing dodgeball. This is as tough a sky right now. I didn't see it. And Norris saw it, and watch Blanco. He's I mean, this is a nightmare for everybody. And once Norris realized that it was not going to be the catcher Castro, and I don't know, is something wrong with Bud Norris? This is from up top. Well, the guys in the blimp saw it.
I think the Castro's asking for the trainer to come out.
Yeah. I think something happened maybe when Norris broke to go after the pop-up.
That could well be. I think he was pointing down to his leg, his knee. So the manager, Brad Mills, the athletic trainer, all out there. And you wonder if the Astros won't just go ahead and make the move anyway.
So they're telling us it might be near the end of this play. Maybe like right there where you kind of hyperextend it when you make that last small leap.
I think that step with his left leg there is exactly what you're talking about. It's been a long inning for Norris. The bullpen was up anyway. He's throwing a practice pitch here, but I'm guessing he may come out of this game.
His body language is telling a lot of people that this is not good, but he may be able to talk himself in.
Well, you know, he doesn't want to leave this game. He's from Novato, coming back to the Bay Area. Got lots of friends and family here. Well, he's trying.
And that's it.
Didn't do a very good job.
So in a lot of ways, you know, if you leave it up to the manager's got to worry about the health of this young man.
Yeah.
So. When it's time for a change, think Speedy. Oil change and tune-up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. We'll be back. David Carpenter, Giants with 2 runs here in the 4th inning, and they lead 3-1.
So, you know, disappointing for the Bay Area kid Bud Norris to have to leave the game, but Carpenter takes over, a guy who began his professional career in the Cardinals organization. Converted catcher, now a pitcher, has spent part of this year at the big league level. And a lot of hits, a lot of base runners against this guy, David Carpenter, who's sort of a swing man in that Houston bullpen. We'll see if the Giants, who already have a rally going, they've scored twice here in this 4th inning. And Carpenter inherits a 2-ball, 1-strike count against the pitcher Bumgarner. We'll see if the Giants can keep building this rally.
So Bumgarner can help his own cause. Two balls and a strike, and now Bumgarner showing bunt, and Carpenter is going to do the double bluff, which never works.
Well, it could be that the Giants, with Norris out of the game, they didn't want to give up an out with Norris struggling so much. With Carpenter, they could be willing to try to move Crawford into scoring position for Blanco.
And the bunt, and it's a semi-squeeze, and out at the plate is Belt. So the safety squeeze ends up being a fielder's choice. And Belt is out at home. So nice play. You see defensively, Downs did everything right. Could have been safe.
Yeah, pretty good slide by Belt. Pretty good effort. Real close. And that foot might have been on the plate before the tag. That's a good look. Yeah, he was safe.
Yep. So here's Blanco. And Blanco takes low. I'm trying to remember, was Castro involved in a collision similar to Buster Posey last year? I think he was.
Castro was involved in a collision. The Astros had another catcher last year, I think it was Humberto Quintero, who got in a huge collision at the plate himself. They've had a couple of those. The Castro, that might have been earlier this year even.
Blanco takes low, and you could see that Castro really did what the Giants want Buster Posey to do, and that's not block the plate, go out in front and come back and swipe. And in a lot of ways, you're probably not going to get as many runners that way. but you're going to keep your catcher for the full season.
Well, it's a good point by you, because that's exactly how Castro did it.
Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, you see where Castro is. He's out in front, and then he comes back. Now, the old timers like Mike Scioscia, they just planted themselves on the plate, and then you had to either go through them or try to jump over top of them. And it's just not going to be done that way anymore. The pitch to Blanco. Swinging a line drive. It's right at the center fielder Maxwell, and that'll end the inning. Giants on the board twice. It's 3-1 San Francisco.
Is brought to you by the Solar Company. Call 877-60-SOLAR for a free analysis or visit thesolarco.com.
Back here at the ballpark, where the Giants own a 3-1 lead as we head to the 5th inning. Oh, yeah. You know what? There's a celebration going on all the time in this park. It could be relatives, for all we know. Here to do the 5th and 6th is Dave Fleming.
All right, Kuip, a former Giant. Matt Downs against Bumgarner to start the 5th inning for Houston. Now, that pitch has been so good for Bumgarner in this game. That cutter slider off the plate inside.
And it's why he pitches so well against right-handers.
His 0-1 is bounced foul. He came inside again. And there are just a lot of young pitchers who are afraid to challenge inside. And Bumgarner has so much confidence in that pitch. I'm not sure right-handers are used to seeing pitches over and over again on the inner part of the plate from a lefty.
Especially from that arm slot that he's got.
Missed up with the fastball there.
Mike talks about that arm slot and how you have to be so strong to be able to throw from there. Well, he's strong.
Yes, he is. You saw that when he was at the plate in the 3rd inning. He launched a home run. Another fastball misses. So from 0-2 to 2-2. Still just 22 years old. That curveball hasn't done much for him tonight. He's tried to throw it a few times. You know, we got a chance to meet Chris Stratton, the young pitcher from Mississippi State. Giants just signed him today, their 1st-round draft pick. Has a very bright future. And I always use those moments to just appreciate again how young Bumgarner is. I think he and Chris Stratton are essentially the same age. Bumgarner's a little older. But this is a guy who's won a World Series game and is in the Cy Young conversation, is one of the best in the league. Almost the same age as the guy the Giants just signed today. Downs strikes out swinging. 7th strikeout for Bumgarner. Well, it's time for our McDonald's True Stories, going all the way back to June of 1959, and a very young Mike McCormick tossed a 3-0 5-inning no-hitter against the Phillies. A rule change in 1991, and the game lost its no-hitter status because it didn't go for 9 innings. Richie Ashburn actually singled in that game in the 6th inning, but the game was called due to rain, and so that single was wiped out. McCormick for a long time got credit for an official no-hitter, but that rule change took it away from him.
Yeah, it's hard to be sitting on your couch 20 years after you did it and find out on that day that they've taken it away from you.
Yeah. Probably not a fun day for one of our favorites.
Yeah, probably went out and played golf.
1-0 to Jason Castro. Mike McCormick was just 21 then. McCormick, of course, made his Giants debut. He hadn't yet turned 18. I mean, he's one of the youngest pitchers in the history of baseball when he made his debut. Castro bounces that foul. 1956, back in New York, is when McCormick first pitched in the big leagues. He was one of those so-called bonus babies, where if you signed a guy for a certain amount of money, the rule was he had to be on the major league roster.
Really smart move.
It was not a good rule. Come on. It was not a good rule. It hurt the development of a lot of really talented young players, pitchers. So they changed that one. 1-2.
Well, not only that, think about it. You're 17, and now you're going to join a group of men in the big leagues, manly men on a ship of men, and you're 17, and you're going to hang with them?
Yeah, probably not happening.
Probably not a good idea.
Castro strikes out swinging on the high fastball. Bumgarner's got 8 strikeouts here in 4 2/3.
Well, here's the 8th strikeout, and this is a go right at him fastball, and Castro is a little tardy. Plus, Bumgarner is hard to hit two-handed, let alone one-handed.
Yeah, Castro did not look very comfortable there. So 2 down, and Carpenter, the pitcher, will hit. We'll just ease that one in there at 91 miles an hour.
I'll bet you Mike McCormick has got some stories to be told, you know, after a couple of cocktails that might be very entertaining.
I mean, from those early days,
oh my goodness,
how they treated him. Joey Malfitano was another one of those, and he tells his stories all the time about how miserable it was for him.
Most of those guys are not going to take you out.
Sitting on the bench every day. And yet it's hard to complain. You're in the big leagues. You're making big league money. It was just a tough spot for all those young kids back then. Wasn't all that tough for this kid when he first came up.
Well, no, because he could whip everybody around him if he had to.
Yeah, nobody was going to mess with the Mad Bum. Just missing with that one.
He lost his mind in one minor league game.
He did.
Threw a fit and, you know, went on YouTube, and anybody who saw that was like, okay, we'll be very walk softly around this guy.
That YouTube video was passed around the Giants clubhouse the day it happened.
Oh my goodness.
And you're right, Madison had reputation in the Giants clubhouse before he showed up.
He needed reputation.com after that one.
Yeah, clean that one up. It was hard to do. 1-2 to the pitcher, Carpenter. He's a pretty good hitter. Just right back to the pitcher this time, though. Bumgarner throws him out. Another strong inning for the strong lefty. Another stop rocket there. It's 3-1 Giants.
Beautiful. Love it.
Ito was representing his nonprofit organization Strikeouts for Troops. He performed at Brick and Mortar in San Francisco. Recording artist Kelly James headlined. Gentlemen, more than 45 people representing all branches of the military were there. All the funds went to Strikeouts for Troops, as you know, giving comforts of home to injured soldiers. Several of the Giants showed up, and they even brought George Contos out, the newest Giant. It's always good to have a little social time. A good night had by all for a great cause, guys.
All right, thanks, Amy.
There he is.
Contos. You know, he threw a couple pitches the other day that were pretty impressive. He threw a breaking ball that was like, okay, I can see it now. So it's his birthday. He's in the big leagues on his birthday.
Things are going well for young Mr. Contos these days.
Very good.
Yeah, he made a nice impression with his first inning of work on the mound against the Rangers. Giants playing the other team from Texas here and leading the Astros. Carpenter in relief starts an inning fresh here and gets a strike call against Terrio.
Last time they'll be here as a National League team.
Hard to believe. 40 years of, well, more than that, 50 years of National League history. And they'll be an American League West team starting next season. There's strike 2, that outside corner. Brian Runge pretty generous with that part of the plate here tonight. Giants fans of that young age will grow up really thinking of the Astros as an AL club. Terrio just barely made contact with that one, and Altuve throws him out.
Well, comprehensive team coverage all this week on NBC Golf Channel and Comcast Sportsnet. We're talking about the U.S. Open live from the Olympic Club. We live coverage of the event on NBC, in-depth previews and recaps on the Golf Channel. So check it out, full team coverage of the U.S. Open from the networks of NBC Sports. What a great time to be in the city.
Oh, what a week here in San Francisco. And we'll be watching that coverage. Melky Cabrera with strike one swinging.
Get why we can't be here when it's here. That was something we should have really talked to the commissioner about.
Yeah, they probably did it on purpose to get the Giants out of town with so much going on. We wanted it the other way, though.
Absolutely.
Plus,
Cabrera fouls it out of play.
There are enough Bay Area sports fans. Well, I mean, they could have packed the Olympic Club, packed AT&T Park, no problem. Melky Cabrera, who's coming back after missing the weekend, 0 for 2 at the plate so far tonight. He's grounded out and struck out. Those at bats were against Bud Norris. He fouls. No, he pops this one up, and Lowry, the shortstop, can't get it. So it's a blue base hit for Melky.
He's back.
A Melky hit.
Here's our Geico quote of the game. It took me 17 years to get 3,000 hits. I did it in one afternoon on the golf course. By the hammer.
The great Henry Aaron.
That's a good quote.
Yeah, a little bit of an exaggeration, but baseball talent does not necessarily translate into golf talent.
He hit or what?
Well, here's another guy who can hit. Posey, who has not made it out tonight. He's singled, walked, and scored a run. And Melky's at first. This is a spot where Cabrera, when he's healthy, is a real threat to steal a base. One of the things that's made him so dynamic this year. Likely he's not going to be pushing it too much. The Giants say he's feeling much better, but maybe not quite to 100% yet with his hamstring. Posey got a pitch to hit there. And he'll be talking to himself about that one.
That is a powerful swing.
I'm not going to compare Posey to Hank Aaron, but I mean, Aaron, who got all his power from those fast wrists and hands, generated all that bat speed. I mean, I think Posey's got some of that talent. Natural ability. There's a slider for strike two.
Well, Carpenter snapped his glove at that last throwback from Castro. He knew that he got away with a hanger.
Maybe Posey was looking for that fastball again.
And Carpenter's going, geez, thank you very much.
Posey's going, oh my goodness.
Can you throw me that again, please?
1-2, and he did, and he struck him out looking.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that'll make a hitter talk to himself a little bit.
Take a look. It's a replay of the pitch prior to that, and if you're Buster Posey, you're thinking, why didn't I swing at that? It's actually the same pitch he hit out in San Diego. He got a hanging slider.
Hit it out, hit it up onto the balcony of the building down the left field line. So here's Pablo, batting average down below 300. Just one hit in 9 at bats since coming off the DL. Takes that one inside, way away from the target for a ball. Giants 3, Astros 1, bottom 5. And the Giants have gotten into the bullpen of the Astros. Astros bullpen that's had to work hard all season long. It's the first game of this series. Giants are into the relief corps. A better swing from Sandoval and a foul ball. It's interesting, you're seeing teams really attack Pablo with the fastball. And that's happening over and over now.
Well, you've been on the DL for, what, 35 games, a little over a month. Let's see how it affected your timing. And we're going to go right at you.
They went right after him there, and Pablo pops it up on the infield. Who's going to take it? Matt Downs backpedaling, and with the wind pushing it, hangs on and makes the play. The Giants a hit, a man left, through 5, lead 3-1. 6th inning, and now it's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. The memorable moment of the night, Madison Bumgarner with his first big league homer, and coming to third base. He tried, but he couldn't help it. A big old smile from the 22-year-old left-hander. Bumgarner, he waited a while for that one. That's our Coors Light Freeze Cam. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Some smiles in the stands. Kind of like that one we saw from Bum. Altuve trying to get the Astros started, and he does with a base hit past the drawn in Sandoval. That one went right by Pablo for a leadoff single.
All right, time for Subway. Eat fresh. Ask the crew. Sarah from Temecula. Is it true that pitchers lose 5 to 10 pounds after a start? Well, look, if you're big, you know, like a CC Sabathia, you might lose on a hot day. Yeah, you could. But here, you got a chance of gaining weight in this place.
Probably not here in San Francisco. Ball 1 to Brian Bixler, who knocked in the only Astros run after an error put Altuve on in the 3rd. Bixler blooped him in after Altuve stole third base, and the Astros have been very aggressive on the bases. Now they do trail in this game 3-1, but you wonder if Altuve might try to press the issue. There's a strike to Bixler.
Well, we got a knucklehead on the field, so we're going to have a break in the action. And all this really does is it puts the game at a standstill. And it really forces everybody just to look at someone that wants to be the center of attention. And it just is not going to be very good for this guy.
It's not going to be a fun night.
No, I mean, look, you're going to end up getting cuffed and maybe spend the night in the slammer. So anyway, they've corralled this gentleman, and he will not be allowed to be in this place for a very long time. So that's, in many ways, is a very stupid move.
Back to baseball. And Bumgarner's going to try to pay attention to Jose Altuve, the smallest guy in the game and the shortest player in the big leagues in decades. And yet what a talent. Just like Bumgarner, 22 years old and having a monster year. Another pickoff throw in that direction.
Brian Murphy on the morning show this morning was saying that if Altuve makes the All-Star team and he's got a shot, he'll be the shortest All-Star since Freddie Patek.
And I think he and Freddie Patek are about exactly the same size.
I mean, he's a little guy.
Bumgarner missed badly there, and you wonder if Bumgarner, perhaps trying to use a slide step, alter his motion a little bit, get a little quicker to home plate, if could be affecting his ability to throw strikes, put the ball where he wants it to go. And the Astros have already stolen 3 bases against him, and they've been getting huge jumps against him in this game. Bixler foul tip that one, strike 2.
A little quicker that time, but I think it does take a little velocity away from Bumgarner.
And he does not have a great slide step. He does not have a slide step that saves him that much time anyway. So it's 2-2. Giants would love to get a ground ball here, see if they could turn a double play. Bixler lined that one, and Pablo Sandoval catches it. His throw back to first was low and late anyway, but Pablo with an excellent defensive play.
Well, a day off yesterday for everybody but Pablo Sandoval. He came to the park to do some work. And whether that paid off or not, we'll never know. But we do know this. That was a nice play. And it really saved Bumgarner, because you're looking at very possibly Altuve scoring and a guy on second base.
Altuve is quick. So Bumgarner appreciated the defense. And that really does change the feel of the inning. You still have Jed Lowry, the third place hitter, up. Fouls off the first pitch. Lowry's 0 for 2 with 2 swinging strikeouts, but don't let that fool you. Lowry is having a big year himself. He's the equivalent for the Astros of Melky Cabrera. Guy traded from Boston to Houston in the offseason. And he's become their third place hitter. He's got 12 home runs, more than any other shortstop in the game. What a trade for the Astros. Jose Altuve taking some attention away from the Giants pitcher. Even with the Giants ahead in this one. He backdoored him there with the slider. Good pitch. He's got Lowry with the slider in first 2 times up. I wonder if he wants to go back in there. Bochy giving some of those signs in regards to the running game and how to defend against it. Misses high with a fastball. Tried to elevate the fastball. Lowry wouldn't swing at it. Jed Lowry, just like Jason Castro, the Astros, former Stanford player, and had a very promising career going with the Red Sox, just couldn't stay healthy. He's healthy with the Astros. And he's been excellent. 1-2. Just off the plate outside.
Well, that time Bumgarner had Altuve going back to first, so if anything, his move is keeping Altuve very close to the bag at first.
And now he's going to throw that way. Well, that's a good sign. I mean, you don't want to be a pitcher who the league totally figures out. I mean, the Astros were looking like they knew something that nobody else knew.
Exactly.
They were just running wild against him in the second and third innings. 2-2. And that one just missed. Wow. That backdoor slider a bit off the plate.
Well, let's see how far off the plate it was. Well, not much. And now you'd think Altuve would be going 3-2.
Well, that would, if Bumgarner could get a swing and miss, and Altuve's not going, and he does get the swing and miss. Strike 3.
Well, it's been his bread and butter. Right there, down and in, the cutter, the slider. Strikeout number 9. Hitting the road and can't watch the Giants on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. We'll take the Giants with you with MLB.TV. Visit sfgiants.com to order, and then you can get many more details. MLB.TV. Baseball everywhere.
Well, I think, and you said Altuve was likely going to be running as J.D. Martinez takes a called strike fastball on the inside 0-1. I think in almost any other circumstance he would have been. That gives you an idea of the respect the Astros have for the strikeout stuff tonight of Bumgarner.
Exactly.
They were worried about the double play. And maybe, to your point, where Altuve couldn't get a good read on Bumgarner this time. There he goes, and he got a good jump. Martinez, though, bounces it to shortstop. Crawford throws him out. And Bumgarner works around the leadoff single. He and the Giants lead the Astros 3-1.
Is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club. Make it a combo with fries and a drink.
Bottom of the 6th inning in San Francisco. Giants lead the Astros 3-1. Well, Dusty Baker and the Reds are coming to AT&T Park for a 4-game series. End of the month, June 28th through July 1st. And the weekend highlighted by the reunion of the great 2002 Giants. Saturday, June 30th. First 25,000 fans receive a bobblehead of a 2002 Giant presented by Chevron Extra Mile. You won't know who it is until you get it. And then the big team reunion, the celebration scheduled for Sunday, the 105 game there. Tickets are available all weekend long at sfgiants.com, and that will be a really fun weekend. And not just for the reunion, but also for the baseball. The Reds are a first-place team and a very good team. As Nate Scherholtz will lead it off and swing at the first pitch, right back up the middle, base hit. Scherholtz has been on base 3 times tonight.
I'm hoping to get the Woody bobblehead that day.
That's the one you're rooting for?
Yep.
Lots of choices, but you can't go wrong with Woody.
The Woody bobblehead.
And so many of those guys are going to be back.
Oh, it's going to be a great day.
Now that was a heck of a team.
It was a good team.
That Giants lineup.
The opposite of this team.
Yeah. Amazing offensive team. Here's Brandon Belt, who's walked and flied out. Hitting against Carpenter here. And Belt swings right through that fastball. Strike 1. Belt opened up on that one like he was trying to plant that one into McCovey Cove. And maybe he was. Still looking for his first home run of the year. On base average .343. He's knocked in 17 runs. Some good from Belt, but some struggles as well. And he fouls that fastball right off Castro. Strike 2.
You know, it's really hard. I said this on the morning show, where he knows he doesn't have any home runs, and he knows people are expecting him to hit home runs, and you can't turn on the light switch and all of a sudden start hitting home runs.
Yeah. Like, okay, I'm going to hit one today.
So every at bat to Brandon Belt right now is like the biggest at bat of the year, and it's hard to hit like that.
Very hard. A lot of pressure on a young kid. Takes that high fastball. 1-2. And the Giants, I mean, the Giants feel very strongly that what he's doing to try to improve is going to pay off. And they think they've seen some positive things already. And they have a lot of faith in his ability. But they also need some production from that first base spot. Scherholtz is running. And the ball is smoked to first. And that's going to be a double play. Oh, just poor luck there. Belt crushed one. And it turns into 2 outs.
Well, that's still though what they want to see out of Brandon Belt is get the barrel out and hit the ball hard, and that's what he does. And sometimes it just doesn't work out for you when you do everything right.
And I think they especially like to see that when there's a man on first base and you have that opening on the right side. I mean, they like to see a left-handed hitter try to use that hole.
Look, if he gets by him, it's first and third with nobody out.
2 down for Crawford, who's got the big hit of the game. Well, let me rephrase that. One of the big hits of the game. Knocked in 2 runs.
Yeah, it's bigger than Bumgarner's. It knocked in 2.
Just don't tell that to Bumgarner.
Just didn't go as far as Bumgarner.
No, definitely did not. A night where Madison Bumgarner's pitching well and has a home run. A slider way out of the strike zone there to Crawford. The Gnomes were here. Say hey Tuesday. Those aren't the best gnome costumes I've seen. Not horrible, but
not even Friday night. It's a Tuesday night for crying out loud.
It's a regular old Tuesday. There's a 2-0 fastball foul back out of play.
After Giants post-game live, it'll be Sportsnet Central. Check it out.
Baseball coverage, golf coverage,
everything.
Lots to talk about. NBA Finals, Game 1 tonight.
Yep.
2-1. Crawford took a rip, hit it foul.
They crowned a hockey team.
Kings.
Did you hear the final call?
I did.
Was that great?
It was pretty cool. And that's a team Maybe not quite as long as the Giants, but they'd waited a long time.
The Kings are kings. Yeah, that's awesome.
Fit pretty well. The Bay Area sports fans probably aren't really celebrating an LA championship, but any Giants fan can feel good for a fan base that waits a long, long time to win one.
Yeah, Darryl Sutter, the Kings coach, he was here for a long time.
Yeah.
And we liked him because he's a dairy farmer. Yeah.
Big part of his success, too. There's a foul by Crawford again.
He was kind of a no-nonsense guy, but get him behind a microphone and he could make you chuckle a little bit. You've got 6 brothers that played. That's got to be a record.
That is a hockey family.
Come on. Anyway, it was scratch off hockey. They're done.
Ball 4. Close pitch, but called a ball. And Bumgarner will get a chance to hit here in the 6th.
Pitcher number 40, Madison Bumgarner.
Well, when I see Madison Bumgarner tomorrow, I'm going to ask him. This is what he did in the 3rd inning. His first major league home run, and it was a big boy. I'm going to ask him if he said anything to Bochy about having to bunt his 2nd time up after the home run. They gave him the silent treatment,
which sort of worked. Yeah, Bumgarner will definitely have a comment about that too. You hit a home run after all those at bats, and then you get the bunt sign the next at bat.
Plus, he's got ownage on Affeld now.
Oh, man. Affeld's not going to hear the end of it. Well, now they're pitching him like a slugger. He's ahead 2-0. They don't want to challenge Bumgarner.
No, and he does have the green light 2-0.
He took it for ball 3.
My favorite part of this is watch Sandoval. He can't help himself, right? He's got to sit there and smile and look and grin, and it's like, oh, I can't stand it.
That was a terrible sales job. There's a strike. Everybody else is steely-eyed, stone-faced.
He's the one kid in class where he said, all right, everybody, be serious. And he was like, forget it. He has no chance.
No chance. Swinging away on 3-1.
He can't help it. Watch. Tell me this isn't the kid in class that is guilty all the time. Oh, my goodness. He makes me laugh, that Tandem.
He has fun. Right to lefty up in the Astros bullpen. And the 3-2 pitch with Crawford running. Bumgarner gives that one a pretty good ride. Not going to be 2 in one night, though. Bixler barely hangs on. Well, John's coming back over to join Kuiper here on the television side through 6. Giants lead the Astros 3-1.
Brand new webisode of Diamond Girls ready for fans at csnbayarea.com. It is brought to you by GoPro Cameras. It's Nicole Vocalsong that joins me today. Guys, she was incredible. She shares her thoughts on Ryan's incredible run as a San Francisco Giant, but she also dishes a little bit. Ladies, I'm just going to give you a hint. She's got a pet peeve about their closet. You're going to want to watch that one. csnbayarea.com. Diamond Girls, John and Dwayne.
All right, Amy, thank you. I had a pet peeve about our closet, too.
Yeah. What about your closet?
Yeah.
We all have a pet peeve about that.
Paul told me that he's got a pet peeve about their closet at the Gutierrez house as well. John Miller is back as Madison Bumgarner is about to face Justin Maxwell. 3-1 Giants. And the first pitch, a mighty cut by Maxwell. And it's foul back. No balls and 1 strike.
So Maxwell looked like he was ready to catch that fly ball, and all of a sudden Bixler stole it from him.
He sure did. I think everybody gets a little weird here the first game with the wins, as Maxwell is behind 0-2. But the problem when you get involved in wins is you don't want to take your eye off the ball, because you're just fearful that the wind is going to take it in an area where you may not be used to it. And that's strike 3 call. 10 strikeouts now for Bumgarner. And if my numbers are correct, that's the first one looking.
That's what I've got. He had 9 swinging third strikes.
Mike Krukow was the last to do that, where he had a home run and 10 strikeouts.
1985 against the Astros.
There's a foul out of play. See, it would work much more to Mike's benefit if he were here.
It'd really be kind of a kick for him.
It really would.
Yeah. Not a whole big deal really, since he's not here on assignment.
And they I was going to say they left it blank. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Chris Johnson, who singled in the second and then popped out in the 4th.
Well, 2 starts ago, Bumgarner had 11 strikeouts against the Cubs. He also had 10 strikeouts at Milwaukee back on May 21st. So it's the 3rd time in his last 5 starts that he's reached double figures in strikeouts.
You know, he's really not known as a strikeout guy.
Didn't used to be.
You know, he wants the hitters to put the ball in play.
He used to.
Got him. And Johnson can't believe it. Yeah, and I don't think that was a strike. But Brian Runge now is in a good rhythm with Bumgarner, and see where this pitch is. You know, it's what it is it's outside, it's breaking around the plate. Here's Downs. Downs is going to bunt. Sandoval charging. Sandoval cannot get a grip on it, and Downs is aboard with the bunt single.
Well, good play. Although then he leaves it to the only left-handed hitter in their lineup, Jason Castro. And of course, Bumgarner has, as tough as he's been on everybody tonight, he's been even tougher than that against left-handed hitters this year. They've been real tough on Castro tonight. Castro's hit a comebacker and struck out. Lefties came into this game for the season with a batting average of 169 against Bumgarner. Only 3 extra base hits has he allowed to a left-handed hitter all year.
Well, none to Castro. Swing and a miss. No balls and 1 strike. Four hits for the Astros, 5 for the Giants.
That called third strike that looked like it was off the outside of that slider, where Posey caught it right between the knees. I could hear Mike Krukow's voice.
Yeah, you throw it there, it's going to be a strike.
Yeah. It's almost like Runge made his point for him.
Yep. 0-2 now to Castro. Back-to-back fastballs. .91 pitches for Bumgarner. Downs at first with 2 outs. Out of play as Castro hangs in there on another fastball, and that last one was at 92.
Fan caught that foul ball. Everybody's keyed up right now. Everybody's ready to go.
0-2 pitch. Got him. 12 strikeouts, and for the second time in this game, he strikes out to side. It remains 3-1 Giants. A 3-1 lead behind Madison Bumgarner as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Aerial coverage brought to you by Hangar One, made here in California in an actual aircraft hangar. There it is. Beautiful shots around this great city. So the new pitcher is Brandon Lyon facing Gregor Blanco. And the first pitch is down low. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. And you see the numbers for Lyon. His ERA is very good. Low walks and a strikeout per inning. Blanco takes in tight, 2 balls and no strikes. What a night it's been for that guy. He's hit a home run and he has struck out 12. As this pop-up is over by the Giants dugout and it's going to be out of play. He struck out 12. His pitch count is in the low 90s. And there's 2 more innings left in this game.
Well, he really has been piling up the strikeouts. Last September, you may recall, actually the end of August and then into September, he had consecutive games in double figures, including a 13 strikeout game at San Diego, September the 5th. That is his career record.
It's 2 balls and a strike. And Blanco fouls it back. Blanco's 0 for 3. He did hit a line drive to Maxwell in center field in the 4th inning.
He was the first Giants left-hander going back to 1900 to have double-figure strikeouts in consecutive starts. And he did that last year.
Wow.
Now he's done it 3 times in 5 games, although not in consecutive starts.
So it's 3-2 now to Blanco. Giants would love to get Blanco aboard here in the 7th. Give Bumgarner a little more insurance. And Blanco is going to bounce this one off his foot, so he will see another pitch. The Angels are still leading the Dodgers 2-1. The Dodgers are hitting in the bottom of the 8th inning. So Blanco will take a little time to walk this off. Ouch. Oh. I always felt like whenever I hit a ball off my foot, it was the hardest ball I had hit all week. Like, geez, I got good wood on that. So Blanco back in the box. And he takes high. That's a close pitch.
The news you want when you want it. Get breaking news, weather updates, and the day's top stories right in your hand. Download the NBC Bay Area app for iPhone, iPad, and your Android device today.
Here's Terrio. Terrio 0 for 3. He was so hot for a week. It's hard to look down and see that Terrio hasn't had a hit tonight. Boy, that is so close to a strike.
It seemed like his last time or a couple of times he had a little feud going with Brian Runge, the plate umpire. And then Runge kept calling that pitch that Terrio thought was outside a strike.
Well, if he had a feud, then Runge would have called that last one a strike. Blanco leaning. Blanco's going to go. And the throw down to second is into center field, and Blanco is up and rolling. And he'll be at third. I don't think Blanco got a really good jump, but it worked out. Look at his jump. No, it wasn't very good at all.
If it had been a really good throw, he would have been out at second base. But Castro, in his haste to make that throw, threw it in the dirt, and Altuve could not knock it down.
There'll be an error on Castro, and now the infield's in. The count is a ball and a strike.
With that jump, almost looked like it was just supposed to be a hit and run.
Yeah, very well could have been. Foul back, 1-2.
Casterio is not afraid to take a strike, let a guy steal a bag. We've seen him do that.
He's been the guy that they thought they were going to get over the last couple of weeks, Ryan Theriot. And did he foul it? And now he does have a few. So Theriot's going to be out. And he may be trying to talk Runge into thinking that he had fouled it. But Runge's not buying it.
Well, you know, Runge looked to me like he was pointing over at Chad Barrett at first base. They will make these little low-key signals to one another. I mean, he might have fouled.
He very well could have. So here's Cabrera. And Melky Cabrera is going to hit a flare, and that's going to knock in Blanco, and it's 4-1. And Melky couldn't help but smile just a little bit, as both of his hits have looked just like that. So welcome back, Melky Cabrera, 2 for 4.
89th hit of the year. He leads the majors in hits, and it's the 29th time that he's had at least 2 hits in the same game, more than any other hitter in the major leagues. In fact, this is his 59th game played, so basically half of the games he's played, he's had 2 hits or more in.
Here's Buster Posey with Cabrera at first.
I think Buster a little unhappy with that call. He thought it was outside. There's Wright up in the bullpen again. Wesley Wright.
And Posey with a swing and a miss. Now he's behind in the count, 0-2. Buster Posey tonight, 1 for 2. He's been on base twice, a single and a walk.
He led off that 4th inning with a walk and started the 2-run rally with it.
Way outside, 1-2.
Brandon Lyon, who has been a closer in the big leagues. He was a closer for the Diamondbacks at one time. He was a closer for the Astros at one time. .28 ERA this year.
2-2.
And coming into this game, 23 2/3 innings pitched, 24 strikeouts. So he's had the strikeout ball working. He's had a strikeout tonight. The only man he's retired, he struck out.
It is Irish night here tonight. And the Gamer Babes are out. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You mean from Ireland?
Yep. Just flown in. Outside, 3-2.
Because I was wondering, do you have to be from Ireland, or you have maybe your parents are from Ireland, or if you just maybe had some Irish coffee before the game?
You can have
qualify.
You can have a friend that's Irish.
That's good enough.
That's good enough.
I have some Irish.
I know you do.
Well, there we go. We're set for Irish night.
Cabrera goes. Posey fouls it out of play. So Melky Cabrera taking it very easy as he goes down the line.
Jose Altuve maybe introducing himself to Melky. My name is Altuve. I've always admired you. Very nice to meet you. A lot of people think I'm too small to play second base, but you're one of the only guys who has a better average than me, you know. Who knows what they were talking about out there?
Buster Posey fouls it back, and I think Bruce Bochy said, let's just stop Melky from running.
Talking to Ron Wotus, the bench coach, about it, perhaps.
And, you know, hey, they're being very careful with this hamstring. You might see Cabrera come out of the game just to play it safe. Guys have a stretch of tough games coming up against the American League. Posey gets underneath this one to shallow left field. And Lowry will put it away. And that'll bring up Sandoval.
Well, Posey made him throw a lot of pitches, that's for sure.
He did.
And Lyon is up to 20 pitches in the inning already. Just got the second out of the inning. And that's the manager. That's not the pitching coach. That's the manager, Brad Mills himself. Pablo's been swinging at a lot of bad balls as he gets ready to bat tonight, and they've kind of exploited that. He's not hit any of them well.
Well, they've challenged him with fastballs, and they keep going up the ladder.
The ones that have been in the strike zone, he's had a hard time getting around on to begin with.
Yeah, Bud Norris is from Cal Poly. He started the game, left with an injury. Mike decided not to show up today, so the only person really that's had a good night here from Cal Poly is that guy. Sandoval takes it in the dirt.
The guy with the Cal Poly sweatshirt?
Yeah. Sandoval is 0 for 3. 2 pop-ups and a strikeout. One ball and one strike.
On a sink on that one, wasn't it? 91 miles an hour.
Well, you mentioned him, Lyon being a closer. He does have good stuff. Giants have added a run here in the 7th. Ooh. And now Cabrera can trot down to second base on the wild pitch.
And that's a wicked slider that almost hit Pablo and went right by the catcher.
Yep.
Do you think that should be a wild pitch?
I think that if you asked Jason Castro, should he have caught that, he would tell you that he absolutely should have caught it. Sandoval down the left field line and out of play. One thing when Pablo Sandoval gets into a rut, he doesn't stay back, he glides. He takes that big body of his and he starts to get anxious, and that the top half of his body starts to go at the pitcher. So you're going at the pitcher and the ball at 93 is coming at you. And he's just got to tell himself he has to stay back. Fouls this one back. And Sandoval's an eager hitter. I mean, he wants to hit. But if he stays back, you get a lot longer chance to see the baseball. And you get a better eye of whether the pitch is going to be a ball or a strike. Two balls, two strikes. hits this one off his foot.
Yeah, maybe even his knee. That ball was similar to the one that the wild pitch was called on that almost hit him in the back knee, and he swung at this one. So look at it.
If he doesn't hit this, maybe it hits him.
Ooh. Is that the knee or right below the knee on the shin?
Right below the knee, and he's got. It really is kind of Murphy's Law on Irish night, but is if you put a guard on your ankle like Sandoval's got, well, the ball's not even going to come close to the guard. It's going to hit you in any place but the guard. See where the guard is? No chance. Remember Jermaine Dye did it that one year and broke his leg?
In the postseason against the Yankees. And that put him on the shelf. He broke the bone in the shin, and he was not right for the next year.
A very long time. So it's 2-2 to Sandoval with Cabrera at second. And Sandoval lines this one foul.
Wow. Guy caught his glove, and he caught it.
How about that?
He's wearing his Giants toque. It's Brian Wilson beard.
Nice play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Maybe it's the second one he's caught tonight. He had another one in his hand. Well, he went back inside with that slider, and then this time Pablo ripped it.
So now we're going to get a meeting.
That's 27 pitches in this inning for Lyon. And for the Astros staff, they're up to 143 pitches, and we're in the 7th inning. Dodgers have tied that game, meanwhile. On the, looks like they may have untied it.
This is a big number.
Juan Rivera, I think, launched one.
Maybe it was a grand slam.
Oh, boy.
2-2 pitch. Sandoval adjusts on the off-speed pitch and fouls it high down the right field line.
Problem here is Pablo keeps swinging these pitches that are closer to hitting him than they are to the strike zone.
He's got a little bit of a grimace going.
Well, Lyon now 28 pitches. He threw 8 to Posey, and then he got Posey. And this is going to be his 9th to Pablo.
2 outs, a run in. Cabrera at second base. And Sandoval taps it foul. Well, spoiled a pretty good pitch from Brandon Lyon. Nate Scherholtz watching from the on-deck circle.
Three-run homer, by the way, for Rivera.
Is that what it was?
Ethier had singled home the tying run, and then Rivera hit the 3-run homer.
Another 2-2 pitch and another foul ball. This could go on for a while.
10 pitches to Pablo, and he's hit 7 of them foul.
You got a guy Lyon who's around the plate. You got a hitter like Sandoval who swings at pitches that are around the plate. Three and two. Took every ounce of strength that Sandoval had not to swing at that.
And even though he didn't swing, I think deep down he feels like I could crush that ball.
Yeah, I could have hit that one off the brick somewhere. 3-2.
This will be the 12th pitch seen by Pablo in this plate appearance.
Bottom. Lyon wins the battle. The Giants pick up a run after 7-4-1 San Francisco.
No way!
Toyota game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Bixler's got the RBI in this game for the Astros, but Norris left with an injury. Crawford's got 2 RBIs, and Madison Bumgarner's got 12 strikeouts in 7 innings, and he also, by the way, hit his first career home run.
Joaquin Arias now in at third base for the Giants, as the Astros have Brian Bogusevic up there as a pinch hitter for Brandon Lyon, and it's 0-1. 12 strikeouts already in this game for Bumgarner. Bumgarner can't get it, and it's through, base hit. The left-handed hitting Bogusevic gets the pinch hit single. There is Sergio Romo, ready in the Giants bullpen if needed. Bumgarner now has shown only 95 pitches, so the pitch count doesn't seem to be a big issue, not yet anyway. Here is Altuve.
He also, John, spent a long time sitting on that bench in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, the Giants only scored 1 run, but a lot of pitches were thrown.
32 pitch inning for Brandon Lyon. Right center field on the run. Schuerholz gets there. Plenty of room out there. And Altuve may be saying, I can't hit a ball further than that.
So that's gone in Houston.
Oh, I think it is gone in Houston.
It is, absolutely. I mean, Altuve hit that ball right on the button.
So Arias now at third. Sandoval is out of the game. The Giants with the defensive change.
Watch Altuve's reaction. Killing me. Something like that in Spanish.
Ay, caramba. One out. Here's Bixler, who is 1 for 3. As you mentioned, he has knocked in the only Astros run, an unearned run at that. Crushes that one deep left center. One hop. Coming to third. Bogusevic heading home, and he will score all the way from first on a long double by Bixler, and suddenly they are making solid contact against Bumgarner. It is 4-2, and Righetti's going to go to the mound. We've got the switch hitting Jed Lowry coming up. And Lowry has been way stronger against right-handed pitching than he is against the lefties so far this year. And then after that, a whole string of right-handed hitters.
Well, one of the reasons you're right, Bumgarner is going to face Lowry is he struck him out 3 times. The base hit by Bogusevic was just a ground ball that got over Bumgarner's head, but the next 2 balls were tagged pretty well.
So a run is in. It's now 4-2, and here's the possible tying run at the plate, and Lowry is the Astros' leading home run hitter. He has 12 for the year. And Lowry coming into this game hitting only .220 against left-handed pitching, .313 against the right-handers. Right back to Bumgarner. He holds Bixler at second, throws him out. And here comes Bruce Bochy with that string of right-handed hitters coming up, and Romo ready in the bullpen. Makes Dave Righetti look really good, doesn't he? Have a visit with Bumgarner, and he threw 1 pitch, got his man out.
Throw a comebacker, and he did. So Bumgarner's going to get a great round of applause. He departs. So Romo coming in when it's time for a change. Think Speedy, oil change and tune-up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. And the new pitcher is Sergio Romo, who's been fantastic. as he will come in with a 2-0 record. Look at that ERA at 0.53. 5 walks, 23 strikeouts, facing J.D. Martinez.
Martinez is 0 for 3. Runner at second. That slider right out toward the middle of the plate for a called strike. Martinez has 3 times grounded out. All of that against this man, Madison Bumgarner, standing alongside Ryan Vogelsong. 12 strikeouts, no walks, 7 2/3 innings, 2 runs, 1 earned. Also responsible for Bixler, who's at second base. 0-1 the count. And caught the inside corner again. That's not where Posey seems to want it, but it's going somewhere else, and it's still working.
Yeah, it's not where Romo usually throws sliders to right-handed hitters. He usually wants it off the plate. So a couple of mistakes, and it's 0-2.
Another right-handed hitter, Maxwell, would be next. 2 down here in the 8th. Bixler at second. Romo checks it. That one was outside, but outside by too much. Martinez was not tempted. 1 ball, 2 strikes. See the outfield? The center fielder, Blanco, shaded toward left a bit. The wind is blowing out toward left field now with gusto. Pretty strong breeze blowing out to left at the moment.
Pretty good take by Martinez, who's only seen Romo once in his career, and he struck out. And J.D. Martinez has a pretty good idea of what he's going to get.
And so far, he's gotten 4 sliders.
Yep.
He struck him out. And that was a beauty. 4-2 Giants. Sherholtz coming up.
It'll be J.A. Happ for the Astros against Matt Cain. Both will be making their 13th start. And Matt Cain's been terrific. 7-2 with a 2.41 ERA. So check us out right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area at 6:30 for Giants pregame live before Game 2 of this series. That's our Chevron pitching matchup. 4-2 Giants. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. John, it's Wesley Wright.
The lefty to Sherholtz. The left-handed hitter fouls one into the crowd off to the left. Giants have a string of 3 straight lefties in a row here with Sherholtz, Belt, and Crawford. 4 runs, 6 hits for the Giants with 1 error. 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Astros. 1 home run that was hit by Madison Bumgarner. Wow, that shot into the Giants dugout.
Sherholtz has done that about 4 times now on this homestand, where he has almost picked off 3 or 4 of his teammates, coaches, and manager.
Well, we can tell which guys didn't get hit.
Yeah, the ones that are not smiling.
1-2 the count to Nate Sherholtz. Now Nate has been on base 3 straight times tonight. Hit by a pitch in the 2nd, walked and scored a run in the 4th, and singled in the 6th. There is Santiago Casilla getting ready for the 9th inning. And Nate is on base for the 4th straight time. Dodgers leading tonight. In fact, they have won that game now over the Angels, and they'll be here in less than 2 weeks. The Dodgers with their first visit to AT&T Park, June 25th through the 27th. Monday and Tuesday night games at 7:15, and then the Wednesday afternoon game at 12:45 on June 27th. And there are tickets still available at sfgiants.com. They don't usually last very long, though.
That they don't.
Nate Sherholtz with a hit against the lefty. He's been swinging the bat pretty well here the last couple of days. Brandon Belt, one hopper. That is foul. They make the throw to second. And the ball was a foul ball. And you saw the tag applied by the shortstop, Jed Lowry, as he figured that the first baseman had already stepped in the bag, Matt Downs. But it was a foul ball. Whatever Downs did, it was foul. Belt has flied out to left, walked, and then he hit a line drive to the first baseman that ended up being a double play. That ball is hit deep. Right field. And gone, a home run. And it bounces into the water. The first home run of the year for Brandon Belt. 6-2 Giants.
Are here again for Brandon Belt. His last one came in late September last year, and I think he saw a hanging breaking ball, and that's got to make that kid feel a whole lot better.
Well, he's been putting in a lot of extra work lately. Going to refine his swing a little bit, and there's a slider in for a strike to Brandon Crawford. I'm sure that has to take a weight off his shoulders.
Yes, it does.
Not to mention just a little payoff for all that work he's been putting in. Trying to work into a new stance and change his stroke a little bit.
Let's see if this is a hanger. Yeah. And I mean, look, I don't think he got both cheeks into this one, but he is so strong and he's got so much leverage, he just poked it out. Crawford manned up with a flare, huh?
Gone! Out of here! But that's a good one for Crawford.
This is from the splash. Yep.
It eventually got there.
It did.
So Brandon Crawford. Crawford, no home runs for him tonight, and no hits that were impressive. But he had maybe the big hit of the game, as Emmanuel Burris pinch hits for Sergio Romo, and a foul. Strike one. Belt had the home run here, but Brandon Crawford back in the fourth inning with the bases loaded got a two-run single. It was just a ground ball that just made it past the pitcher and just made it past the diving second baseman Altuve, and it got 2 runs on, put the Giants ahead. A lead they have kept ever since, as a wild swing by Burris on a fastball up and away and out of the strike zone.
Yep, finally.
Aubrey Huff, congratulations, slap on the back. Burris hitting .217 for the year. Out of play.
Boy, just a bevy of home runs, huh?
This is like a whole new world down here.
Smokes.
Twice in the same game.
I got to use my home run call. You got to use yours.
I don't even remember doing a home run before.
Either.
And a fastball is right there. Strike 3 call. Every night, Comcast Sportsnet delivers the top plays and big stories on NBC Bay Area News. For complete sports coverage of your favorite Bay Area teams, turn to NBC Bay Area News at 11. And that's Raj Mathis, the anchorman, right?
Yep. Very versatile.
The sports handled by Comcast, but on NBC Bay Area. This ball 1 to Gregor Blanco. 1 out in the inning, 2 runs in.
When that ball landed, Casilla sat down.
Casilla, the closer, no longer a safe situation. Blanco is 0 for 3 with a walk and a steal and a run. Downs hurries to the bag and got the put out with Crawford going over to second.
Stay tuned for the post-game wrap in just a bit. And Mike Krukow will also talk about this game with Murph and Mac tomorrow morning on KNBR 680.
Don't they know he's on assignment tonight?
He's on assignment, but Mike is so good that he'll be able to talk about this game whether he's seen it or not.
Check it out. Murph and Mac in the morning on KNBR. The sports leader. Ryan Theriot 0 for 4 in this game. 2 strikeouts, a foul out, a ground out, and a fastball is low for ball 1 from Wesley Wright.
One of those at bats, John, where if you're up there, you're thinking, all right, my team has a pretty good shot at winning this, and I would sleep a lot better if I went 1 for 5 as opposed to 0 for 5.
Could make everything feel entirely different than it may feel right now. And he curves it for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The one thing you can't do is you cannot walk into the clubhouse after a win, go 0 for 5 and have a hangdog, because once your teammates see that, they do not think highly of people that worry about an 0 for 5 after a loss or after a win.
2-1 the count now. Well, Theriot, he has been a guy who's become a real clubhouse
absolutely
presence now.
Very good for all those young guys, especially Brandon Crawford, who he now plays next to.
He's trying to drive Brandon Crawford in right now. Crawford at second, 2 down. There is Downs, right over the cover. We're going to the 9th inning. The Giants are ahead 6-2. Clay Hensley's coming in as Brandon Belt goes bye-bye baby, as Russ Hopkins used to say.
Central tonight after Giants postgame live right here on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. We get the reaction to this ball game. Tiger meets the media, and youngest ever at the Open. So check it out. 6-2 Giants. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Get your oil change tune-up and Smog expert.
Clay Hensley on to pitch for the Giants in relief of Romo. And Hensley has done a very nice job. 2.28 earned run average, 23 and 2/3 innings, only 19 hits allowed. And look at that, the left-handers. He's been much tougher on left-handers than he has been on right-handers. And he's been decent against the right-handers. 152 average against him by lefties. And the Astros send a lefty, Jordan Schaefer, to pinch hit against him.
That's right. First pitch is wide to Jordan Schaefer. 246 average, a couple of home runs, 15 driven in. And 2 pitches low. It's 2-0. Schaefer last year, we were talking about that 4-game series in August. Schaefer got some hits to beat the Giants. There's a strike at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike.
I remember when he came up originally with Atlanta, and he opening day they played in Philadelphia. He had a home run.
Foul, 2-2.
He had a very strong first game, and then almost no hits for the next 4 weeks.
Oh.
And they sent him back to the minors. And now he's an Astro.
Yeah, that opening day home run's always bad luck. So I never hit one.
You were very wise.
Yeah, I was wise. 2-2 to Schaefer. Very high and a full count. Here we got the Astro guy, the old uniform, which is probably not one of the better looking uniforms in the history of the game.
Still looks like a bag of potato chips.
Payoff pitch. And Hensley walks Schaefer. And Lopez down to the bullpen. The thing that Bruce Bochy doesn't want to have happen is to let the Astros get a couple of guys on base and get them really interested in this ninth inning. And a leadoff walk will get you partially interested. And now here's Chris Johnson. And more pitches out of the strike zone, and it's going to get Buster Posey out of the squat and out to the mound, and now Casillas starting to get loose again.
Well, he's just all out of whack right now because the last thing in the world that he can afford to do is just start giving away base runners.
Can't do that. It's 1-0 to Johnson. And Hensley lowering the sights, throws a strike to even the count.
Now Posey went out there after that previous pitch that was too high again. I think Posey maybe saw something.
Yeah, I mean, a catcher can go out and suggest, but it better make sense. Otherwise, that guy out there is just not going to buy into it. Hammered to center field, but it's right at Blanco, and Blanco will put it away. And that'll bring up Matt Downs.
We were talking about Madison Bumgarner. 12 strikeouts, no walks tonight. He's had 7 career games now with 10 strikeouts or more. It's the second time that he's had that many strikeouts with no walks. He also had 11 strikeouts, no walks against the Cubs 2 starts ago. He's never walked more than 2 in any of those 7.
That's amazing.
Big strikeout games.
Downs takes wide.
And he walked 2 only 1 time. Either no walks or 1 walk in all of those double-figure strikeout games, except the 1 game where he walked 2. I mean, the combination is astounding.
Yep. Quick toss. Schaefer is back. One and 0 to Downs. And Hensley comes in with a strike.
Well, ever since Posey visited the mound, every pitch he's thrown has been down around the knees. Matt Downs, who had a fine year last year for the Astros as a role player, he's not been able to get anything going this year.
He is not. Pulls this one foul.
Well, the ball dude was supposed to protect Billy Hayes, and I think he did not do it.
Well, Brad Holsworth just did not make a friend. Billy Hayes just told Brad, "What are you doing with the glove? Are you sitting on it?" Downs squibs this one off the end of the bat, foul. Yeah, okay, well, I'm down here to protect Billy Hayes. And,
Gotcha, Billy. Oh, sorry.
Oh, man.
Ball got here pretty quickly, you know.
Billy, I'm so sorry. I know you got a bruise. Yeah, see? This is what it's for.
He looks so contrite. I'm sorry.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball hit on the ground to Belt. Belt kicks it, recovers, flips to Hensley covering, and they get the out, and that's what you need to do. You need to get an out. Belt thinking double play and then just thinking one out.
That really, it was hit right off the end of the bat. It was almost like an onside kick. And I think it had some odd spin on it. Belt could not handle it initially.
All right. We got a new pitcher coming in. It's going to be Javi Lopez. It's 6-2 Giants. Net, and it's all part of the NBC Sports Group.
6-2 Giants in the ninth inning. 2 down. Runner at second, and Javier Lopez now on the hill with Jason Castro, and he's trying to wrap this one up right now.
Castro is bounced out, and he has struck out twice. All those numbers against Madison Bumgarner. First pitch strike, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Chris Snyder, the former Pirate, is in the on-deck circle. And this is down the right field line, and that's a fair ball. So Castro's going to get his first hit. Coming in to score is Schaefer, and down to second base with a double is Castro.
Castro 3 hits and 26 at bats for the year against left-handed pitching, including 0 for 3 tonight against Bumgarner. But his manager Brad Mills let him stay in there, and he gets the RBI double against the lefty. A tough lefty at that. This, by the way, is now a save opportunity.
Yep. So that run will be charged to Hensley. And Lopez is going to come out. And Casillas coming in. So it's 6-3 with the Giants closer coming in. The run here in the ninth. It's 6-3. And Santiago Casillas comes into the ball game with a 1-2 record. You see 16 saves and 17 opportunities. This is a save situation as he's facing Brett Wallace, the pinch hitter. Wallace hitting for Snyder. And the first pitch is a fastball high, 1 ball and no strikes. I used the word pesky a number of times against this Astros team, and you can see why. Just do not have a tendency of going away. Wallace pops it up. Could be playable. Arias over, and it's Crawford who overruns it. So Arias and Crawford moving over in foul territory. The official score has ruled no play, and you can see Crawford having to run very hard, and then he just cannot put on the brakes. The ball is always in this ballpark going to come back. And you also saw Arias had no chance. So it's new life for Wallace, and he takes down low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
By the way, we mentioned it is a save opportunity. If the possible tying run is either at the plate or on deck, and the relief pitcher comes in there, then it becomes a save situation for him, even though he only needs the 1 out.
Wallace skies this one out to left. Melky Cabrera through the Seagulls is going to make the catch, and that'll end the inning, and that's the ball game. So the Giants do what they had to do tonight. They beat the Houston Astros behind Madison Bumgarner.
Great performance by Bumgarner. He's the story. Not only getting the win, his 8th of the year, but hitting his first home run ever. 12 strikeouts, no walks. What a night for Bumgarner.
Bumgarner now goes to 8-4, and he pitched extremely well, striking out, as John mentioned, 12. Final score: Giants 6, Astros 3. Esurance Giants postgame live with interviews in the wrap is coming up. At first, let's go to the Sportsnet Central studio for an update. Thanks for watching Giants baseball.